I use this for nights out. It's glitter. This is chapstick. Should I use the chapstick? I use this. I probably use this like 20 times a day, like twice when I wake up, and definitely before I go to sleep, and sometimes in the middle of the night. Tiger Balm, the red kind, which is my favorite. Mascara, yeah, I don't. Lipstick. I have another tube of chapstick. You always need your emergency chapstick. Mostly, sometimes I lose it in my bed, and that freaks me out. So I always need another one. Let's see. A dog pin. And this tiny Clinique Happy that my friend didn't want, and I'm really glad she didn't want it, because this is actually one of my favorite perfumes. Yeah. And a bunch of anti-allergy medicine and cold medicine. Yeah, I have a lot of medicine around. I guess I really like using chapstick. I think it's like one of the first things I do in the morning, and I always sleep next to like two tubes of chapstick. I don't like brushing my teeth. I think it's a pain. I guess I don't like getting wet, or it's not like the act of like, you know, like I have to dry my fingers and everything. It sounds stressful. I don't have a problem with showering, but washing my face and only my face is something that makes me uncomfortable. I think drying seems more of a pain when it's only one part of your body. Like I think it really highlights how wet you are, or like how not dry you are. I think I'm bad at brushing my teeth. Well, this is something I noticed as a child, or when I would watch my mom brush her teeth, and like sometimes when people brush their teeth, it sounds really cool. It sounds cool, and like people can, like, it's their mouths are slightly hollow, and it's not messy. My mom's like very, very feminine, I think, and people are like, oh, like people just think she's really like attractive in that way. I noticed how she used cream. She would use fancy face creams, and that was always very like mysterious and amazing to me. But yeah, we don't have a close relationship, so and I have weird feelings about my mom and like femininity, mostly because she never really taught me much, and I had to teach myself a lot. So yeah, it's weird to think about her in like her passing down something to me sort of way. I think for most of my life I was like trying to not be very feminine because of her. I don't know, certain body parts freak me out. I couldn't really wear makeup until I was like 20, because I associated that with my mother. I think it might be like a cultural thing for my mom. Like,
right.
I know like Filipino women like really like pride themselves on having long hair, and like I mean like, you know, like that's important in the culture. So my mom hated it when I cut my hair, even when I like cut it to shoulder length. She freaked out. When I went to a Chinese boarding school, a lot of the people I lived with were very into beauty products and like the ritual, and I had this one friend, Lucia. She like initiated me into it. She got me, I started using Nivea, like all Nivea products. I would get the face wash, and then the toner, and then the cream, and I would get like all the whitening products because I want well, yeah, just cooler to be light in China, especially then. Yeah, and we would, I guess, use the toner, and I don't even know if this is how you use toner. Like we would put it on our hands and we would slap it on our faces. Sometimes we would use face masks. I was really into the red wine kind. Yeah, it was like a gel but also a mask. The idea of, you know, like they're packaged so nicely, and to buy like all the products in the line, like wow. my I guess my grooming practices and how I like choose to make myself out to be has changed a lot throughout the years, depending on how I felt about my gender. I think for the longest time I just felt like a blob, like I didn't feel like any gender as a child, and I didn't feel the need to use anything. But I think that a lot of it was like to contrast with my mother, to seem less femme. I think I was like 20 and I started using makeup, and I wanted to look like something I thought like coincided with me moving back to North America. And yeah, I just wanted, I wanted to be that beautiful, like, not that you can't be beautiful without it, but that image of beautiful that most people have. I love lipstick, but I can't wear it all the time. Mostly I feel like I don't want people to look at me or like think about me like I'm trying to get something from them. Like came out as non-binary 3 years ago. And I like looked very femme and I was fine with it, but I kept encountering like people misgendering me, or like people just like in conversation just like not seeming to believe that I wasn't a girl. And I'm trying to wear less makeup, and I think I'm like stepping back from that. Like I'm over having to prove it, but yeah, it's definitely affected how my grooming practices.
I actually think I like enjoy like the ritual of grooming because I'm a really meticulous person, and kind of like definitely like concerned about my appearance. Like I don't leave the house without eyeliner ever, because I think I've done it so much that it just feels like it's a part of my face now. Like actually I look like a totally normal person without it. But then I just like doing it, so it's something I've continued. But it's weird, like I'll like sleep with it on. Yeah. It's again that thing of like, but also like in my mind I rationalize it because I'm like, oh, it will save me time in the morning. I like looking put together, but I'm actually secretly kind of grimy. Like, I don't shower that often, because it is unhealthy for you to shower too much.
It's true.
Because then you like regulate your body to need it every day, and I feel like I don't have time in my schedule to need it. So last winter I was on a 5-day shower rotation, and I was really proud of it. My hair was like super healthy and like really curly. But like, so in that way, like I think there's like a weirdness about me of like I like looking put together, but then I'm like secretly like unclean. My hair takes like roughly 2 hours to dry naturally, and I will try to like schedule it so I'm just like in the house for 2 hours and like have something to do. Like I feel like weird rules or regulations about my appearance that like other people don't have or might not have. I do think about like the women who spend a lot of time on makeup and how like even my eyeliner feels like it's like taking time out of my day sometimes. But I don't wear anything else on my face. It's just some wings. But versus like fully contouring, that takes up time. Of like when I'm trying to like relax actually, or like take time for myself, is I like painting my nails when while I'm like watching something or listening to my podcasts. And I really noticed that I have like a huge pet peeve of like when my nails are chipped and gross, which they aren't right now. So, but they're really metallic. I don't know. I know it's like probably not a healthy thing to have your nails done all the time, but it's like just become one of my things what I do when like it's my off time. For me, I like my legs shaved because I think that there's like such a nice feeling of freshly shaved legs, like on clean sheets or something. I don't know. But also it's just like my preference. But I had to stop shaving my armpits because I would get sores under them. It's bad.
I love laundry. It smells so good. I actually don't ever separate colors. I know you're supposed to, but I don't, and I've never had a problem. But okay, so see, it's heavy, and you always drop something. Oh. So much better though. I used to have to go to the laundromat on Park, and that was like awful. So this is a really big blessing. So see, there's always a pile at the bottom of clothes that I'm not sure I want anymore, so I just keep them in here. And they will probably always be in there, but that's okay. Alright, let me slide it down so I can fold them here after. I don't know, timed. I mean, I love doing laundry. It's like my favorite thing in the world. Like, I was thinking maybe even doing it as a job. I don't know, there's just something, I think it's like the full circle aspect of it, like going and then putting on clean clothes, and especially folding clothes is probably my favorite. And I love showering, but it is hard sometimes to find the energy to do it, and especially if you're not really doing it, like on days where you're in bed for a couple days and you're like, no one's seeing me, I don't need to shower. But once I do shower, it's like the nicest feeling ever. I used to wear makeup, and that was probably one of my favorite things, but I don't anymore. Washing my face is one of the hardest things to do, but one I enjoy the most because it feels like such a huge win when I do it. And it feels so good after, and especially with someone with acne, like that's something that makes me feel like hygiene. Like people look at me and they think, oh, you have acne, you don't wash your face, like you're dirty, when that's like absolutely not true. And I'm so meticulous with it, but so when I wash my face, it feels really good. I hate shaving, that's why I stopped. But for years I shaved and everything, and like I couldn't believe, like if I was to go out now with like hair, oh my god, I would be so embarrassed. But I realized that it has nothing really to do with hygiene, it's just more like appearance. I love, just putting on deodorant, I always have to wear clean clothes. Like I'll change my clothes like 4 times a day. Yeah. Like this is my second outfit of the day. Yeah, now I'm like I can't have anything on the floor, and it's tough because I smoke, so I always feel like I smell bad. And I think hygiene is something that really affects my confidence. Like when I'm out and I see people who are really like clean looking, I feel like I'm like gross and I'm like lesser than them. Of course you're better than me, you have clear skin. It's like, I feel dirty and gross, where it's like, it has nothing to do with that. I eat really well and I try really hard, but it just doesn't go away. I think that's where a lot of my neuroses around hygiene come from, because I grew up in like a house of neglect. So I remember when I was younger, I didn't really know what hygiene was. I think I was in like senior kindergarten. A teacher sat me down and she said, "Why are your hands always dirty?" And I remember like for the first time being like, "Oh, that's a bad thing." Like I didn't, and I remember I would always, my hair would get knotted, like matted, and I just thought it was, whatever. And then I noticed other kids didn't have that. So I think I started to resent my parents in that sense, because I was like, I'm dirty, I'm gross, and I would have lice, and so I had virtually no hygiene practices when I was a child. So I think, I think I was on a bit of a learning curve growing up, because I had to teach myself that, and I didn't know things like how often do you have to shower, how often do you have to shave your legs, or like how to do laundry, things like that we didn't really care about. So it's been, I think I have a lot of internalized feelings of being gross and dirty, and that people can tell that I'm dirty, because it happened a lot with, like, I remember people coming to our house and being like, "Your house is really dirty," and I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know that," So I think that's why now I'm so hyper about cleaning and hygiene, because it's like I can control it now. It's something that I almost have to treat as a job, because it's something that, I think is easy to let fall to the wayside, especially just me in general, as someone that I I literally write it in my calendar, like today you're going to do laundry, tomorrow, how you have to shower. And it's hard. I mean, I sometimes clean so hard that I'm exhausted, and I'll just like, I'll wake up in the morning and I'll be like, I'm dirty. This house is dirty. I have to clean. And I'll look at my clock and it'll be like 4 p.m. and I'll be like, oh my God, I haven't eaten today. All I've done is this like hyper manic cleaning and cleaning it myself, and I'll shower, shave my head, all that stuff. But it's a lot of it is really enjoyable. So some parts of it aren't as laborious, but like ashamed always if I had like a sock on the floor or something. And I don't know. I mean, like, men are like sometimes seen as like, you're sweaty and they're smelly and it's sexy, but if a woman is, it's like, oh, gross, like, ew. And it's just fucked up. But I mean, I've come to enjoy it so much that it's not laborious, but it's physically really hard some days. I think we're raised to be like hosts and make a comforting space, and have tea on, and like have a comfortable, like I literally moved my bed to the window because I was seeing someone, and my bed used to be right here, but I realized my bed was too close to my other roommate's room, so with someone else in mind, I said, okay, if I ever have another partner, I want to have my bed against the window so it's farther away. It's just these weird things of like constantly thinking of other people in terms of your labor and your hygiene. And it's like, a lot of it is for me because it feels good, but most of it is for other people.
This is me putting on toothpaste. Just gonna... I usually do that for about a minute. Are they really working your bottom or so?
I'm particularly like sensitive about keeping my teeth and my nails clean. And I've been learning a lot about it recently, how that's actually fairly classist to be worrying about my teeth a lot and making sure they're clean, because of my upbringing of my family being like, don't like forget to brush your teeth, like you don't want your teeth to turn ugly. And then like growing up and like living in a city, it's like not everyone has perfect teeth, and that doesn't really matter. Used to take a lot more care of my hair, and I used to have really long hair, and I used to shave my legs a lot and my arms, because growing up I was a very hairy child. And as I've grown older, I've kind of just stopped caring. So as far as shaving goes, I don't do it. I hate biting my nails, but I do it often because I'm an anxious child. Like growing up, I would always be like sitting in the bathroom with my mom as she's shaving her legs. One time, even she was shaving her pubes, and I was like, okay, I don't know really what's going on and why you're doing that. Like, that doesn't look very comfortable. I was realizing that my mom did it a lot, so I was like, oh, I should do this too. And I think my mom affected me a lot in that way of like how to look. But I think that's also the same with not caring as well. My mom doesn't shave her legs anymore or her armpits or anything, or she doesn't care about her eyebrows, which is like a wild thing because I remember plucking my eyebrows to a thin line, and that was great. And growing up, like in even just in middle school, high school, like when your pubes are starting to come in, people asking each other if they were hairy down there, and I was very uncomfortable with that because I was like, well, that's not your business anyways. Why? That was a huge thing I didn't like doing, and I don't think I'll ever continue to do. I remember my manager joking about one of my coworkers not shaving their armpits and mentioning that they should probably do it, and I immediately was like, no, like, why don't you shave your armpits? Like, I can see it, so why? That doesn't make sense. And at one point, I was bartending, and I was feeling a little insecure with not shaving my legs, and so I began doing it again because I am wearing like short skirts and like scantily clad tops for tips, but no one has ever directly said to me to do it, but it was just like this hovering sense of like, maybe you should, or like people are noticing, and I'm like, am I gonna get fired if I don't, or are you gonna take me in private? Yeah, I guess is coming out as non-binary, I guess over 2 years ago. That was a huge thing for me too, whether I would continue shaving my legs once in a while, or even putting on makeup, or bothering with like my mustache or my brows, because I was putting this pressure of like how I should look and tweeze my eyebrows and do my eyebrows or put on my makeup. Like, I'll still do that. Like, that doesn't mean I'm a different person. I was rejecting the idea that I should look anything similar to a girl or a woman. And yeah, and then when I would dress more mask, or on some days I'd be like, well, like, is this really me? Am I just trying to reject like what I actually want to dress like? And obviously I've like figured out now that I can really do whatever I want. People want to push away from femininity because I think they're scared of being even just like in the same bracket as women, and I think that's still like a whole process of like the patriarchy being like, if you're a woman, you're not equal, and that's just not true. You know, it goes to like a bigger picture, really.
Totally.